Anything else? Can you think of
Hi,
anything else that we need to? Oh, sorry.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
With blood and rage of crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all. That is your fate.
This is Red Lantern Russell from
Homes of Evil.
and you're listening to Sector 2814, a Green Lantern podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights.
No evil shall escape my sight.
but those who worship evil's might.
Beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, Master of the Core. It is.
I am Will, and those were some new intros. Those were awesome, dude.
Well, that one from Russell's an old one. Sometimes I'll throw it on like the audio podcast, but yeah, I haven't been using it on YouTube. But yes, no, I did do a new Patreon,
New Patreon. Yep.
because I'm sick of hearing Love Hellfire complain about it. All right.
So that's the way to get anything done. Just make sure Lilith knows about it, and then so because we all fear her.
Yes. Yes. William, Master of the Core, looks like Master of the Speed Force tonight in this Flash t-shirt.
That's right. And I will need to be running after that, right?
Oh, nice. All right, so yes.
How's it going, man?
All right, how's it going with you? I mean, I'm fine considering there's no Green Lantern news.
I know we had this desert of Green Lantern news for months and months and months and months and months. Did I get enough months in there? Maybe some more months. But then we had this giant smorgasbord last time.
Well,
and no news since. So there we go.
Well, we had news about the the two ongoing books becoming one, and then it just happened to coincide with the old James Gunn,
Yep.
announcement of those first couple projects.
Yep.
Including lanterns.
Lanterns. I've heard some interesting theories. Let's call them theories. That, and by heard I mean read. So. But some are positing that it's called lanterns because they both might not be Green Lanterns.
Maybe
John is a Yellow Lantern, or maybe he's a Blue Lantern or something, or maybe we get other lanterns besides the two main Green Lanterns in there. So that's just a theory. There's no information. That's just me repeating a wild, unsubstantiated theory.
Well, that was I thought that was my thought, that Hal and John would be Green Lanterns and we would get other lanterns of other colors.
That would be cool, which would tend to make you think that we might be moving toward a zombie-filled future.
Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, because I think didn't Gunn say something like the Lantern series is gonna lead to a big event?
A big event.
So, it could be Blackest Night. So,
it's kind of a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a big deal, but I don't know.
Get some yellow Lantern Sinestro.
Yeah, and I'm still really curious about the Guardians putting Sector 2814 on quarantine, and Hal having to hotwire a ring, which just sounds about right, but still, because Guardians are gone, right? I mean,
Who knows?
what is happening?
Well,
Tell me, Phil. Tell me.
once again, they got better.
I mean, we're reading an issue from over 20 years ago where the Guardians have just come back from being dead. And guess what? Hey, they're currently dead again.
And then there's going to be a story, I think is in New 52. I can't remember all the details, but wasn't it the Guardians go evil or something? But then it's like they die off. But then, oh hey, there was these other there's these other Guardians who were locked away for like 1,000,000 years, and hey, they're going to be the new Guardians now, or I don't know.
I think so. Wasn't that around? See, I haven't read a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it was
New
somewhere.
52 and on.
Yeah, I probably only read it like once or twice, but yeah, I mean, I think it was somewhere in New 52.
I'm looking forward to reading all those.
Me too. Me too.
I have been trying to catch up on grabbing the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps individual issues and some of the trades. I think I may have put some of those trades up there, or up wherever, and Green Lanterns. So I'm looking forward to reading those as well.
Nice.
Post Rebirth.
Oh yeah.
DC Rebirth, not Green Lantern Rebirth.
Oh yeah. Oh, when we get to 2016, and we're gonna have to be like, oh yeah, rebirth, you know.
It's the rebirth, Born Again. No, that's a Daredevil story. Sorry.
DC Rebirth, not the Green Lantern Rebirth.
That's right. Know your rebirths.
All right, so trying to think of anything. Oh, are you caught up on Quantum Leap? There was a new episode last night, but then it's off again next week. It's like taking a week off next week, and then it's back.
Oh, you want to talk? Did you see it?
Last night's?
Yeah. So the Leaper that was in Dottie, I thought that was Janice.
I thought it might have been at first. I thought maybe it was Ben going back to warn himself.
Oh, but yes, but I mean that she drew a picture and that was Janice, right?
No, that was what's his face from the project? No.
Oh, it was him. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't see the picture very well. All right, cool. Very cool. So he has leapt into her from some point in the future.
Although I don't know if it's they, but yes. Yeah.
They. You're correct. My apologies. But okay, but wait a second.
So from some future point, yes.
Now, I thought that the only person that could see inside the holographic imaging chamber was the person that was linked to the person who, left.
I mean, I think in the original, weren't like Sam wasn't able to hear them, but Al was able to touch someone and like he could at least see them. And I don't know if they could see. I don't know. The rules always change. And again, this show, it's like there's no waiting room.
There are no rules. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, yes. I'm really enjoying the show though.
All right. Oh, Russell, what's he saying? Getting closer to those red lanterns. Yes. Why gonna do? Why? Are we gonna start getting feedback when we get the red lanterns, Russell?
Final crisis, rage of the red lanterns.
Oh my. Oh my God. Then Guy Gardner's in charge for a while, so it's more like the redneck lanterns.
I've actually heard really good things.
Oh no, I've read some of it. Yeah, no, it's good. I like it.
I mean, I still like Guy better as a Green Lantern, but I feel like from what I've read about it, it really kind of, it organically fits him.
Yeah.
Because coming up, from his childhood, as and his anger issues, I think, justifiably. But still anger issues that he ends up dealing with because he was a rage monster for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, Russell, we'll have you on for those. Yeah, it'll be a little while, but yeah, we'll have you. Yeah, if we want to send
We'll,
feedback anytime. Yeah. Hey, when we used to do the Quasar podcast, Ray used to send us weekly feedback. So you could always
and
be
he
like,
hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't done that in a while either. So we should give him crap
no,
about
no. Well, we're not talking, these days we're not talking like Black Canary or anything. So I guess we lost his interest.
that. Or who? We're not talking about who, Phil.
Oh, Ray, he made wits. So this is all Will's fault. All right, yes. Yeah, we're not talking about Ray's favorite character.
Batman, my favorite character. Into the Dark Knight, all to do with Batman.
His life is all to do with Batman.
Nice. Although we did get some Batman in the
Yes.
155, I think, that we're going to talk about shortly.
It might be 55. Yeah. It was like, what, at least a page or two of Batman? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't on the cover.
Yeah, I know.
Within these pages lurks the Batman.
Batman, my favorite character.
You know, they talked about, Brainwave Jr. a little bit, and how but it got very pessimistic. I mean, I feel like these issues are very pessimistic. I mean, obviously they're detailing a hate crime,
Yeah.
which was, I think, from a cultural standpoint, these two issues were a lot bigger deal 21 years ago
Oh, yeah.
than they are right now. I mean, we're looking at them 21 years later. But
That's right, Will, because everyone is so peaceful and tolerant these days.
yeah, I know. It was because my wife and I watched Quantum Leap tonight, so I read these issues.
Yes.
And then we watched Quantum Leap, and I was like,
yeah.
it was very much a theme for the night. So I don't know. I will get into it when we get to 155. I have issues with the decision that was made at the end of 155.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I think the whole point was to get to where he got at the end of 155. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh wait, what Flash story, Russell? Speaking of Quantum Leap, I just finished this. Is that the one where Wally's like jumping around through time into like different people's bodies? I think he even like jumps into Impulse at some point in the future.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that part of the 1 minute war?
No, this was like from maybe a year or two ago or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. The 1 minute war special was out last week. No, it's interesting because we were getting more of the Flash family and stuff. And
Now, the writer of the Flash is going to be our writer for Green Lantern, correct?
is it Jeremy Adams?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's the Flash writer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I wonder if we're going to see some, maybe some team ups between people. Either like
Brave
Hal,
and the Bold.
yeah, either Hal maybe teaming up with either Barry or Wally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Kyle teaming up with Barry or Wally. John and Guy weren't much for team ups, were they?
Trying to remember. Oh, not really. I mean, Guy was part of that Justice League, so.
But I mean, like teaming up with a Flash or teaming up with a single.
I think John Stewart from the Justice League animated was more of like a team up guy.
Yeah. Although John did team up with Martian Manhunter during a limited series that didn't turn out so well for him.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. Yeah, we're gonna flash back to that along with the current stuff in a few weeks. Or
yeah.
Oh nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, Russell, you say you're almost current with Flash. Nice. I think Ray stopped. I know Ray was reading through the Mark Waid run for a while. I don't know how far he got.
Oh yeah, those were really good.
Oh yeah,
really good.
Like the original Mark Waid run. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Jeff Johns run on the Flash was really good too. I mean, it took it in a different direction, but it was good. I think Scott Collins did a lot of the art for that run. And then there was a year where Grant Morrison I think when Wade took off a year to do stuff, was it Kingdom Come that he was working on then? Maybe I don't remember.
Maybe, yeah, but yeah, Grant Morrison did it like a year. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he was the one. I think Grant Morrison might have been the one who's like, oh yeah, he can use Speed Force energy to just like make himself a costume.
Which would be cool.
Well, it's like I think his first arc too is like, Wally like gets his legs broken and like basically uses like the Speed Force energy suit to like hold himself up and stuff. Yeah.
Wow, it's been a long time since I read those. I should go back and do that.
Boy, something weird from Grant Morrison. Get out of town.
I know, right?
I was trying to remember it, but I think so. I mean, on a Grant Morrison scale, I think some of those Flash stories were kind of tame on the Grant Morrison scale.
Well, I think they were trying to keep some consistency while Wade was gone because
Yeah.
Wade was on the Flash for, was it 8 years?
It was something. It was like was it like
60?
62? It's like 62 to, yeah. And then when he jumped off, I think it was like his last one at the beginning was like 129. And then, yeah, Grant Morrison did a year and then Wade came back, was like 140 something maybe.
It was, so maybe not 8 years, maybe 7, but still, that's an impressive run.
And then he came back. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very impressive run. And then I think it was,
Oh, then he did like another run after after Jeff Johns, because he can't.
oh, he did?
He's the one who. Yeah, I think Mark Waid's the one who introduced Wally's kids.
Oh, wow.
I think so.
It's
Yeah, so
been so
I'm
long,
saying
yeah.
I think Wade's done at least three runs on Wally West, and
Mhm.
I know, I think he said he's pretty much done. Like he would not come back. He wouldn't come back to the Flash book, which I don't blame. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I would love to see him come back, but I mean, he's done how
Mhm.
many years on 3 different runs.
Well, and now he's got, he's still doing Batman, Superman, World's Finest.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the big Lazarus Planet crossover coming up that I believe he's writing as well. So, I don't think Mark Waid's written Green Lantern, has he?
Don't think. I mean, unless it was just like some one-off somewhere. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think he hasn't done like an actual run on Green Lantern. Yeah.
Interesting.
I was gonna say, I wonder if I look up. I was gonna say if I take like the 20 minutes to scroll through Mark Waid's bibliography, there's
Credits, yeah.
that's like the couple times we talked to JMD Mateus. Like I've
Yeah, it's
scrolled through his work. It's just I'm on my phone scrolling. I'm like, I forgot about that.
Holy crap, I forgot about that.
like preparing for like an interview. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that.
Mhm.
These guys who have been doing this for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's you go to his Wikipedia. It's separated from like DC Comics, Marvel Comics.
Oh, and then oh crap, what was the Florida-based one that he did? You had Sojourn. It had Roos by Wade and Jackson Guise.
Well, here it has DC, Marvel, and Boom Studios.
Okay.
Oh, he did Archie. That's true. He did some Archie.
Mhm.
Image Comics.
CrossGen.
Yes, that was the next CrossGen, and then there's, like I said, Boom, Thrill Bend Comics. So,
Yep.
if you're any kind of comic company, Mark Waid's probably written something there. Oh man,
huge body of work.
Yeah, a bunch of Superman stuff. I think he's like a huge Superman fan, but I know like Marvel, like he's like a huge Captain America fan.
Oh, well, yeah, which you got to write right in the middle of the Heroes Reborn.
Well, it's like right before Heroes Reborn, and then as soon as they got rid of that crap, he came back. I mean, he's a good alt writer because like he picked up right after Grunwald, and like
Yep.
I don't think the book lost quality, so it's like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he had I think Ron Garney was on art for a lot of that. Which is a really good artist.
He did Flash, Green Lantern, The Brave and the Bold 1 through 6.
The 6-issue series. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Green Lantern Secret Files and Origins #2. Remember he did some of those.
The story he did the short story with the ring's about to run out of charge, and he's like, "How can I get around it?" And he couldn't. So finally, he threw the ring, which was a nice gag ending to it.
I'm not seeing a lot of Green Lantern. I mean, there's a bunch of JLA. Oh wait, there's a bunch of JLA stuff. So
Yeah, I think Wade took over from after Morrison on JLA, didn't he? Yeah, I think he did.
oh maybe. Yeah, he did.
And he also absolutely love. It was Oversized Treasury. It was Mark Wade as the writer, Brian Hitch as the artist. JLA Heaven's Ladder.
Oh yes,
awesome story.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome story.
Oh, he did a text article for it's a Green Lantern Volume 3, #19. So that's that one where Hal, John, and Guy go for John's or Alan Scott, right?
Alan Scott, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It says he wrote a text article, Strange Schwartz Stories, the text article on Green Lantern's publication history. Strange Schwartz Stories. And then he must have did a story for Green Lantern Corps Quarterly #2.
Yep, that's that one.
2-minute warning. Yeah, with Ty Templeton. That might be the last of the Green Lantern. Oh, of course. Remember, he was part of that DC Trinity. Remember the Green Lantern, Dark Stars, Legion story.
Oh yeah.
Because he was writing that Legion at the time. So
Legion 89 or Legion 90 or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that. So kind of through crossover here.
And there was also the crossover with the Flash. Remember where Wally got a big brain?
Yes.
They're Guerrilla City, Guerrilla Warfare. That's the name of it.
Damn you, little brain. Oh yeah, and he wrote a bunch of those Brave and the Bolds from what was that? Like in the the mid 2000s.
Gotcha.
Which I'm thinking for one of our anniversary episodes, I wanted to go in and just like either that or that. What is that? Was that Legends of the DC Universe and just like pick out all the Green Lantern issues or something
and just do them? Yep, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm still scrolling, but yeah, I think that might be okay. I think that's the extent of his Green Lantern work. But yeah, I'm looking. I'm pretty sure most DC characters he's at least touched. Either through a one shot or a crossover or something.
Yep, absolutely. Cool.
And again, I believe he was one of the editors on the infamous Action Comics Weekly.
Yes. That's like probably that must have been like trying to herd cats that had been, shot with gamma rays or something, and steroids.
Oh yeah, I think I've read something before where it's like, it was tough. I think it even said like, I don't know if they had to get stuff in by the weekend. So there was like one Friday night where they're just like him and some of the other editors and whoever else were just like working to get stuff done. And for what? Oprah Winfrey yelling at Hal Jordan.
And Kat Matui getting killed.
Yellow safe. Getting trapped in a yellow safe.
Yeah. That yellow impurity.
Yeah. All right. These aren't Guy Gardner issues. Should we get to these?
Let's get to these. You bet.
All right. So yes, three issues tonight, kids. Green Lanterns 153, 154, 155. So yes, Green Lantern 153, which we'll know from the goofy cover. October 2002. You can never go home again. Can you go home again? Never. Writer Judd Winnick, penciler Dale Eaglesham, inker Rodney Ramos, colorist Moose Bauman, letterer Kurt Hathaway, and editors Bob Schreck and Morgan Dontanville. All right. Green Lantern and Jade fly to Los Angeles because Cal got invited to a high school class reunion. Oh my God. Okay, we get it. He doesn't like flying on an airplane. We get it. He doesn't like flying commercial. I mean, all he did was bitch about it for the first 3 pages of the issue.
First 5, I think it seemed like.
God. Like, we get it. They plan to stay at the house of Cal's mom, who's very happy to finally meet Jade. but she immediately puts her son in an awkward situation when she mentions that Cal visits her for dinner once a week, but never brought Jade with him. Oh boy. Now Jade believes that Cal did not want her to be introduced to his mom, but Cal convinces both Jade and his mom that he wanted to wait for a matching moment because he loves them both very much. Very much. In his old childhood bedroom, Cal confesses to Jade that he has not yet told his mom that his dad is still alive. The class reunion is the typical collection of even more awkward moments, so Cal and Jade leave pretty quickly. Because his mom is still away, Cal finally tells her that with the power of Ion, he was able to find his father. His father took all the blame for leaving his family, although Cal knows that it was his mother who drove him away. As Cal explains that he does not blame his mother either, Jade enters the room holding a cell phone with tears in her eyes. Jon Stewart is calling, and obviously something terrible happened to Terry Berg. No wonder he doesn't want to introduce Jade to his mother. Every time he introduces a girlfriend to her, something bad goes down. I mean, remember, he introduced Donna. She gets
Troy,
the
yeah.
phone call about her ex-husband and her son
yeah.
getting killed in a car wreck. And now he introduces Jade. They get a call that Terry, something's happened to Terry.
Yeah, he's just being smart.
I mean, did
Thank you.
Did Winnick not remember this, or I'm like, it almost seems like lazy storytelling. It's like every time Cal takes the whatever woman he's dating to see his mother, oh, they get a horrible phone call. Oh, something bad's gone down.
Really bad things happen. I mean, this issue was really, really light. Well, it had no action. Okay, so it was really.
Yeah.
It was really all set up for that final page. Okay. I mean, I feel like, granted, Winnick did some cleanup from, Ion talking to his mom, and all that stuff. But not a whole lot really happens, right?
Well, it seemed like a lot of, like heartwarming moments and like humor. It's like kind of like getting you feeling good. And then it's like,
boom.
What happened to Terry? Like the roller coaster. You get to the top and then it's like, what happened?
Yep. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Winnick really likes to write, kind of
like the personal
a glib, well, yeah, definitely, but a kind of a glib, jokey Kyle.
Yeah.
And which, granted, I think since he's been writing him that way for so long, that's kind of associated with Kyle now, right? But before it, I don't think he was as jokey or glib, but
I think some writers try to do that to try to make him seem younger. And two, I mean, it's already been decades, but it's like the Peter Parker effect.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah. You're right. There just wasn't a whole lot of meat to this issue. We get what he was doing, setting it up for the final page, cliffhanger basically. But there wasn't a lot of meat to this issue.
No. And the old cliche, I'd rather go 10 rounds with Graven than go to my high school reunion.
Wait, is that Jokerized Graven?
Stop me if you've heard this one.
Speaking of Joker's Last Laugh, I don't remember much of it. I don't. Did everybody get de-Jokerfied at some point?
Yes, they can. They came up with a cure. They even had Harley helping them work up a cure. Yes. So.
Okay. So Graven got the cure.
I mean, they don't show Graven getting the cure. But...
Okay, cool. Let's just Let's keep on moving, man.
I was gonna say, what happened to Graven at the end of that issue? I can't remember.
He was
Remember.
just captured, right?
Did he get
I think.
captured? Okay. I mean, if he's in custody, I mean, I'm sure they could.
Yeah. De-Jokerify him.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah. Okay.
And again, I know it's comics, but it's like, wouldn't guys like Graven and like some big powerhouses be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go kill the Joker now?
Yeah. Or, hey, I'm a complete alien and my father is a new god of apocalypse. It probably won't affect me. I don't know. I'm just
I
saying,
know, I
right?
know, I know. But I mean, it was part. It did fit with the story because, like I said, I think there was a Dominator in the prison with Joker, and he was Jokerfied, so
Yeah.
it was working on aliens. So
I don't know why or how. I mean, Joker's supposedly, a genius, but okay, whatever. Sorry, completely derailed that. I guess let's jump into this.
I mean, I think the Batman armor just like rubs off on everyone around him.
Batman,
Uh,
my favorite character.
But yeah, Cal tells his mother, it's like, I found Dad, and
He didn't tell me the truth, but I know what really happened because I read his mind. But
because I read his mind without asking permission. The old Charles Xavier maneuver.
exactly, just pulled an Xavier on him.
So then Cal and his mom are all hugging, and it's just like, oh, what a heartfelt moment. That's when Jane.
That's when the phone rings. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, it's John. What's wrong with John? No, it's he's on the phone. It's Terry.
It's Terry.
Yeah, and then we just see a tear roll down Cal's face, and it's like, what happened?
Yep. And then we get a really brutal cover.
Oh, I know.
It's a Jim Lee cover, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, because I think he did a few of these. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but before we move on to that one, the cover for 153, I mean, it is funny. It's like a guy in a mascot, the school mascot talking to Cal.
Yeah.
Oh, what have you been doing since high school?
In his Green Lantern costume, yeah.
He's wearing that Green Lantern costume, and like you look at that Green Lantern costume, it has like it looks like texture on like the arms and legs, and just like the details, like the straps and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know, trying to make it look like real clothes, but why? You create it with Green Lantern energy. It's like, why does it have to look real? Why would it look real?
Exactly.
Wouldn't your first thought be, oh, let's make it comfortable?
Yeah.
That doesn't look comfortable.
Or to quote Ryan Reynolds, never make a costume out of CGI. Sorry, wait, that's some other movie. We've been waiting so long.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that, man. Yeah, backed up the money truck to Hugh Jackman's house.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there is a real simplicity to the Darryl Banks design of his costume.
Yes.
And I think in simplicity, there's a lot of power, right?
Yeah.
Granted, the mask is a little inconsistent at times, but that costume was his costume for a good 7 years, right? From the beginning to 150, right? But this other costume, it seems like it's trying to be a little too hip, a little too trendy. I mean, I don't know. I feel like certain characters have iconic looks they're iconic for a reason, right? And maybe tweak a little bit, but to wholesale change out the costume into this, granted, it looks great drawn by Jim Lee, but everything looks great drawn by Jim Lee. I mean, come on. And that's not a dig at Dale Eaglesham. Dale Eaglesham is a really good artist on the interior. And it looks great. It's just that costume, I don't know, it doesn't scream Green Lantern to me.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah. No. I mean, the original costume, I think it's a nice mix of like a classic superhero costume with like a nine of the 90s elements to it. But yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I get the reasoning behind, oh, hey, let's, visually, start the new age or whatever. But it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you kind of, it's too complicated. That suit is too complicated.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So shall we get to the next issue? Find out what happened to Terry?
You bet.
All right. So Green Lantern number, all right, 154 from November 2002. Hate Crime Part 1. Well, that gave it away.
Hmm.
Looks like the team is the same. In a hospital, Terry Berg's boyfriend David tells Kyle Rayner and Jade how Terry and him left a club and then got chased by three guys who obviously had a problem with the pair being a gay couple. David and Terry made the mistake to flee separately, and thus only Terry got caught and nearly beaten to death. Cal was already in a foul mood, but when a police detective asked him some questions indicating that Terry and David might have been partially responsible for what happened as well, Cal gets really furious. As he learns that one of the attackers, named Daniel Hirsch, has been taken into custody, Green Lantern decides to pay him a nightly visit in his cell. Without remorse, Green Lantern tortures Daniel until he tells him where to find his two accomplices. It does not take long for Green Lantern to find the other two attackers. In a dark alley, he gives them a free shot at him, and now Cal lets loose and beats both of them up pretty badly. A little later, Cal sits in front of Terry's hospital bed and just begs his friend to wake up again. All right, that's that's a downer.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought Winnick did a really good job writing this one.
Yeah,
The way he started it out, and then now Batman's not in this one. Batman's in the next issue,
yeah, it's
right?
the next one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, I get that Kyle was angry, but straight up torturing someone, I mean, that seems, almost a bridge too far for this
yeah.
character. I mean, as heroes, but also as, human, uh, they certainly, we expect them to make mistakes, but we also expect them to be, better.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it worked for the story because there's, you know, I think what Winnick wanted us to feel was the rage that he felt,
Mm-hmm.
that Kyle felt, and that, you know, anybody who's paying attention and sees these things happen, the rage that they justifiably feel that this happens,
Yeah.
right? And 21 years later, it still happens, and it is certainly rage inducing. But
I mean,
I don't know.
I guess that's the point that Winnick was going for. That
Mhm.
Cal was in such anger that he wasn't thinking straight, because otherwise he could have just went it. The guy didn't see him coming in the cell. He could have just like sent in a construct and said, "Oh, I'm a demon. You're going to hell," and just like basically
Yeah.
psychologically tortured this guy.
Yeah. Or hypnotized him with the ring and said, "Tell me the truth," or
Something. Yeah.
I mean, but to go straight to, I mean, it's straight up
Or
torture.
or hey, Batman, help me find these guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
But again, this is the Judd Winnick Cal who, the one who's like, "Oh, Nero has a ring. Let's kill him."
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it seemed out of character to me,
Yeah.
but
And
that's not to take away. I mean, this is still a very powerful story.
yeah.
And I think, even today it's important, but especially in 2002, it was, extraordinary, right?
Hmm.
This was 21 years ago. Um, and I was going to make a comparison, but I think this story has probably aged better 20 years on now than some of the hard traveling hero stuff, which were also kind of groundbreaking, in dealing with things that comics hadn't dealt with, or mainstream comics hadn't dealt with before.
Yeah.
I don't remember at the time, but I feel like this was kind of a big deal for comics to have, a story about, a hate crime against someone who's gay, or have an out gay character. I know that John Byrne, during his run on Alpha Flight, North Star,
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't come out and say that North Star was gay. He just had to kind of suggest,
Oh,
you know. And then, of course, years later, North Star comes out as gay in an issue of Alpha Flight. I mean, I don't know. I think it's an important story,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the story was a little bit at the expense of Kyle's character. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, I understand completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But and again, that whole thing where he's just like, "Oh, I've soundproofed the cell, and there's a hologram. No one's gonna hear you scream." I'm like, doesn't that seem more like on the Ion level, where it's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm blocking all sound waves," and
Yeah, I mean, and then he goes and beats up the other two. And the other two are, first off, they're extraordinarily stupid. Hey, a superhero is going to give you a free shot at him. Are you going to take it? Nope, take me to jail right now, please. Thank you. I don't want to get, beaten to a pulp. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I really think that this is an important story, but I think it came a little bit at the cost of Kyle's character, because this doesn't seem like Kyle. And, and maybe that's me misreading it too. That's certainly possible. But I am curious to see, what kind of waves this story made, back when it was released. I'm gonna have to do some research on that, because
yeah,
I am curious.
I'm looking at an article now from the time, and I guess yeah, because in an interview with the New York Times, DC Comics editor Bob Schreck explains why the story was written. It's a story that needs to be told, Schreck said. Where we're bringing Terry is very similar to the Brandon Teen and Matthew Shepard moments. But yeah, it just says probably the best part about the issue is how Green Lantern deals with the tragedy. He says Power Green can do anything, but he can't save his friend from being assaulted. And then it goes into how he tortures the guy and then hunts down the other two guys. The scene where, while disturbing to see, was all too real. Winnick said in his interview with the New York Times that he would love for this issue of Green Lantern to prompt some discussion. Well done. We are talking about it right now. It would be nice if some teachers recognize that this is a story that could spin off conversation, and not just on the issue of sexuality and brutality, but in how people react. Is Kyle right in hunting these guys down and beating them? Do one of these guys deserve to die? I think there's a lot to be said there. So, I mean, Winnick won a discussion. Well, that's what we're doing.
Yep, exactly. I mean, and I would hope that things have gotten better.
Yeah.
But
you know what? I didn't think, if I'd been a little quicker, maybe I would have been like, hey, if we were to, I don't know if he does interviews or not, but if we invited Jen Winnick to talk anything, it probably should have been this issue.
Probably, yeah. I mean, again, I really think it's important, but I don't know. This may just be that Winnick's version of Kyle is different than what I think
Yeah.
what my
Well, because
version of Kyle is.
he's different than the Ron Mars version.
Yes. Yes. And that's the standard, right? Because that's
Well,
that's
he's the creator. I mean, he's the creator of
exactly,
Kyle
yeah.
Rayner. I mean, you're gonna say. I mean, I'm sure you have different versions of certain characters you love. Like
Mhm.
say a Marvel character, but it's like, oh, so and so writes them, but different than Stan Lee wrote them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And but I don't know. I feel like this is a really a really kind of important distinction. I really don't feel like the Kyle of Ron Mars would have done this.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and I could certainly be wrong, but
Although, what was it? This issue or next one or both? I mean, he does say something. He's like, "Oh yeah, when I had the power of Ion," he's like, "I saw a lot of hate in people's heads."
yeah, and I do want to get into that some too.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, this issue starts out and it doesn't pull any punches. It starts out with a catalog of everything that was done to Terry,
Oh
right?
yeah, and you just look at the cover. I mean, it's just the two
Mhm,
guys holding, like a bloody and beaten Terry. I mean, you wouldn't even know
mhm.
this was a Green Lantern issue unless you saw, except for the logo at the top.
Yeah. hmm
So
So yeah, I mean, I think it was well done, and I think it's important,
yeah,
but I do disagree a little bit with the characterization of Kyle and his reactions to some of this. I mean,
yeah,
yes, he reacts as a person, but he's shown that he's not. He's a long way from that everyman, that started out.
hmm
I don't know. It just felt off to me, and that's not to say that it's this issue that it's off. I feel like Winnick's interpretation of Kyle is kind of off, at least in my reading of
Well,
it.
yeah, like
You
I
know,
said, remember Nero? He
Mm.
was ready to kill Nero.
Yeah. I mean, that it just so again, but this is one of the strongest issues of Green Lantern that Winnick has written,
Mm.
at least in my opinion. Um, and it probably follows after maybe one of the weaker ones. I mean, it's so it's
But again, like I said, I
so
think
uneven.
yeah, I mean, I think the 153 was just like, setting a certain temperature of the room, and it's just like, nope, we're going the
Yeah.
completely opposite
Okay.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I don't know that there's, that I've got. It's a hard hitting issue, and
Oh yeah.
it's really well done. The art's great, the writing's great. Great. I have some minor quibbles, with what Winnick had Kyle do, but it shined a light on something that needed light shown on it.
hmm Oh yeah, this issue's reprinted in Green Lantern 80 Years of the Emerald Knight, the deluxe edition.
Right up there.
Yeah. So yes. But again, like you made the comparison to Hard Traveling Heroes. Do you think I don't know if it's because it's a different writer, but do you think this hit differently because it hit so close to home? Like this was a friend of Kyle's, like Hard Traveling Heroes, like Hal and Ollie and the old timer
Those
kid
were more,
we're
yeah,
just rolling through a town and be like, oh hey,
yeah.
there's these strangers are being racist or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like here, it's someone Cal knows, someone Cal cares about.
Yeah, and I mean, and I can see, when it basically, I feel like this story was planned for a while. That's why Terry was introduced.
Yeah.
Um, but to have a character, well, representation is important, in all media, and
Mhm.
to have a gay, an out gay character, as a cast member is good. But then Green Lantern doesn't have exactly the best track record with supporting characters. Okay, I mean.
He didn't say refrigerator, people, but
Yeah, but I didn't. But I did. I said it without saying it. I mean, uh, I don't know.
well, it's weird because it's like after Alex gets killed and put in the refrigerator, it's just like name me a long running Kyle Rayner supporting cast member who's not a superhero or has been a superhero.
Mhm.
I mean,
Radu.
Radu, yeah. I
Who's
know,
an ex-assassin.
but we haven't seen a ton of him since Judd Winnick took over.
Nope, we have not. I don't know. I again, representation is important, but to have well, and I don't know this, so I'm making a leap in logic here, and please correct me if I'm wrong. But to have an out gay character being represented, as a supporting character, as as just a person, right? Not oh, this character this character is only here because this character is gay. No, this character is a person. But then Kyle is going to go off into space, and we're going to lose all of that support. The supporting character is not going to be there. I mean, we're going to get John.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
but it seems like
Yeah, let's do this last one. Yeah, I have problems with that whole aspect of
it
it. Yeah.
seems like Terry should be there while he's healing, so that we can continue to see, the effects of what happens. And I don't know that we ever get that, do we? And I could be wrong. Certainly, it's a day that ends in Y. So,
I mean, I forget if he drops in every so often, but I'm pretty sure Cal doesn't really come back to Earth until like Ron Mars comes back.
which is like 21 issues from now, right?
Yeah, like 176. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, let's do this last one. This ending. All right. Green Lantern 155 from December 2002. Hate Crime Part 2. Same team. Terry Berg is still lying in a coma, and the probability of him ever waking up again is slim, according to the doctors. Terry's father, Mark, is still irate and does not want his son's friend David to visit him because he blames their relationship for the hate crime. But when the father breaks down crying, Jade just takes David into Terry's room. When John Stewart joins the visitors as well, Cal leaves without telling Jade about his further plans. In the JLA Watchtower, Green Lantern asks Flash to use the cosmic treadmill to travel back in time and prevent Terry Berg from getting attacked. Flash does not agree with him, and so is Batman. Well, there's
Batman.
there we go.
My favorite character.
So is Batman, who states that we all want a day back and we can't ever take it. Batman also confronts Cal about the fact that he tortured one of Terry's attackers in his jail cell. While Batman likes to use this tactic himself, he does not want Green Lantern to move into that territory as well. To vent off, Green Lantern flies into space and punches some small meteoroids. Suddenly, the Spectre appears, and Cal tells him how he feels he could have stopped the attack on Terry Berg if he did not give up his power as Ion. Spectre thinks that giving up that power and thus bringing back the Guardians as well as reigniting the Green Lantern power battery was an extremely unselfish act. Although one cannot solve every problem, Spectre believes Cal will always do his best. Before vanishing, Spectre notes that good news is waiting for Cal at the hospital. Indeed, the mood has changed at the hospital because Terry is awake again, but his head trauma is severe and he cannot remember what happened to him. A little later, Cal shows a sketchbook to Jade, which Terry left in his apartment. The book includes portraits of both Kyle Rayner and Green Lantern, indicating that Terry already knew about Cal's double life. Cal admits that he is not longer willing to protect Earth, and he wants Jade to accompany him, traveling through the galaxy and helping other species. Jade agrees, and so Cal sends a power ring to John Stewart, asking him to take over Green Lantern's duty on Earth.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I just popped back into my head. Okay, they told Terry knows he's Green Lantern. Wouldn't he have realized that when he was Ion?
maybe. I don't know.
I
The whole
mean,
ion thing is
even if he didn't read Terry's mind, wouldn't his super senses been like, oh hey, that sketchbook. Oh hey.
his abilities as ion are somewhat nebulous, right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I I was hopeful that, you know, we would get a message of hope out of this tragedy, you know.
Yes.
But instead, this is very, very pessimistic. You know, they refer to Brainwave Jr. saying, "No, all people suck,"
Mhm.
right? And I really don't think a lot of the science, bears that out. And I think I've seen some studies that say, in an emergency, in a disaster or something, people don't go look out for themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
the a-holes do, but
Yeah.
most people aren't a-holes. And so to have, the lesson that we get is that humanity just sucks, and I don't want to go, I don't want to protect him anymore. Yes, some of humanity does suck, but and maybe this is, maybe I'm an optimist, but I believe that most of humanity doesn't suck. And to have this as, the takeaway from, Terry's attack, and then, to have it reinforced by, yeah, as Ion, I know people suck, but I was going to save him anyway. Plus Brainwave Jr., who we never see again, which is annoying. Uh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure we don't.
I mean, and it if Kyle is so grown up and responsible, then he should know that Terry needs him now just as much as he did before,
Well, yeah, that was going to be
as he recovers, right?
Well, that was going to be my point. It's like, forget the whole seeing the best in humanity or any of that. It's just like he's been just begging Terry to wake up. Now Terry's awake, he's going to leave. I'm like,
Exactly.
yeah, that makes no sense to me. I'm like, okay, maybe in 6 months or something when he's up on his feet or something. But it's like, really? I mean, the kid's not even out of bed yet, and you're already,
Not even out of the hospital, yeah, and
no.
you're gone. Yep. That I mean that
I mean, it's basically Cal making it all about himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's just angry and he wants to go take it out on other things
Yes.
instead of staying and doing his job, right? And staying and helping his friend. So, I don't know. If they were looking for a reason to get him out into space, this just doesn't feel like a very good reason, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't. And Jade just got her powers back and she's happy doing what she is. I don't, just because Kyle wants to go, yeah, she's going to go with him.
Well, after I forget how many months, eventually she's going to be like, you know what? I want to go back to Earth. I don't want to stay out here. So she goes back to Earth, and then he's
Mhm.
out there by himself for a while. So yeah, she's
And
not going to stay with him the whole time. And then yeah, that whole thing blows up when Ron Mars comes back. So
yep. And then the series ends. So
well, I was thinking, well, one, I mean, this issue is for Kyle Rayner wise, this is big for a few things because it's like this is pretty much the end of his career. Because I mean, after this, I mean, we see him more in space. I mean, up to the present day, we see him more in space than we ever see him on Earth again. So I mean, his career is basically over.
yep.
I mean, I know he got
And
head on work as Ion, but it's like,
mhm,
yeah,
not 20 years of publishing history ahead. That's
no,
so,
no.
I mean,
And again, I mean, I know this isn't the last issue, but I mean, this is pretty much almost like the end of our much loved Quasar series. He's flying off into space.
oh yeah.
Gotta leave Earth.
Oh, that, yeah. Oh, that gets you. But, and, I the whole discussion with Batman 2 felt a little bit off. You know, there are some days we can never take back. Okay, I get that. But
And if you want to go with like the a-hole Batman, I mean, why wasn't he getting in Kyle's face and be like, you know what? Are you becoming another Hal Jordan? Are you becoming that bastard Hal Jordan? Am I gonna have to
yeah.
like shut you down?
Yeah, I mean, the same argument that they had Hal making was, I can fix it, right? I can fix it.
Exactly.
But then, I mean, these are some of the questions that you don't ask, right?
Yeah.
That superhero comics don't ask. Hey, you can go back and change time. Okay,
Yeah, but I was
go
ready.
for it.
I was waiting for Wally to say, okay, well, we go back and fix your friend that's passed, and then where do we draw the line? I'm sure
Mhm.
Batman wants to bring his parents back. I'm sure
Yeah,
Superman wants to stop Krypton from exploding.
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
where do we draw the line? I was waiting for
Uh-huh.
that argument.
And it's
And again, anytime you change the past, I mean, crap happens.
it's just the Flash TV show. Anyway,
Or even the Flashpoint. The Flashpoint.
Flashpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Barry Allen went back to try to save his mother, and that's what created Flashpoint.
hmm Although a little help from Dr. Manhattan.
Oh,
Anyway, so the other thing too is my ideal Batman, who's not my ideal Batman is not the a-hole God Batman, right? He's very empathetic. He
yeah.
would, he understands. He doesn't want, and he would have. I feel like he would have not done the whole, gruff, tough Batman because obviously, maybe not a friend, but a coworker, in the league is hurt and angry, right?
Yeah. Well,
And
that's the other thing. I was waiting for, when Batman's like, oh, that's my tactics. I was waiting for, a whole discussion where it's like, yeah, Cal, I don't want you to become me. If
yeah, or something like
if
that.
that
Yeah.
needs done, I'm the one to do it, not you.
hmm And yeah, I mean, again, using this tragedy just to get him off Earth, it feels a little hollow,
Again, if you want to bring John Stewart back, it's like, how about Cal's like, oh, hey, I'm going to take like 6 months to a year off. I'm just going to help Terry. John, can you fill in for me?
There you go.
And then
Perfect.
once Terry's at a place where he's doing better, then if Kyle wants to go off into space, maybe on like a lighter notes, maybe do it.
hmm Yeah, I mean when you get right down to it, barring Emerald Twilight, okay.
The worst day of Will's life.
The bad day. Anyway, barring Emerald Twilight, Green Lantern's a sci-fi fantasy series that is very optimistic about the future. And granted, we took a different view of that during Hard Traveling Heroes.
Mhm.
You got overpopulation with the Malthusians, where are we now? But it's still ultimately, I think, been optimistic about the future. And this is not optimistic. This is starkly pessimistic. The human race isn't worth it anymore. I'm getting the heck out of here. I can't. But his friends are also part of the human race, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. The reasoning just falls a little flat to me.
And I don't know if it's because Judd Winnick's going to be leaving up in not too much longer of a time, but it's just I don't think we ever get the story of, oh, hey, maybe humanity isn't so bad after all. I don't think we ever get that.
Yeah, because he's only got like 6 issues left, 7 issues left.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Because then I think it's been Rob for like 10, and then
Yeah, I think Rob
and
until
Ron Mars.
Ron Mars, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this, I mean, it was great to see John get the ring. And John has a ring. That's awesome.
Mhm.
But I thought the last issue was really, really well done. I don't feel like this. Again, this comes back to the unevenness of this run. There can be good, solid issues, but then the next issue might not be so good and solid, but then the next issue might. I mean, it's so uneven, and I mean, I don't know if this is because this is early superhero comics for Judd Winnick, and he's still getting a handle on all of it, or and I haven't read really, any of his later work, so I don't really know. But I think I've said this before. I was really looking forward to reading his run because I'd heard such great things about it, and I don't know why I heard such great things about it because it's just not what I hoped,
Yeah.
right?
Again, like Kyle Rayner, I mean, for us, I believe the characterization is just off sometimes. And again, sometimes, I think for the last however many weeks, we've been able to excuse it because we're like, oh, he's rocking godlike power.
Yeah. But I mean, it goes back to that battle with Nero. Yeah, we may have to kill him. Where did that come from, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they fought Sinestro before, and Sinestro is skilled with the ring, and
But Nero was crazy.
crazy. Okay, well then just take the ring off of him. I mean, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Let's not kill him. I mean,
Or have Cal not bring that up,
yeah.
Have Hook Hand
Ha-
Aquaman, Peter David Hook Hand Aquaman bring that up, be like, oh, maybe we gotta kill him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Kyle has been off, I think, during the entire Winnick run. Now, and I don't want that to take away from the previous issue because I really think that was an important story.
Yes.
I think this is a poor follow-up to that story as a part 2. And I don't know if this.
But it's like,
Yeah.
Again, it just rubs me the wrong way. It's just, if this boy means so much to you and is such a good personal friend to you, I mean, are you really gonna leave?
Yeah, I mean,
Right
when he
now?
needs you, yeah. I mean, part of me thinks that this part of the story actually damages the first part a little bit because of the end, the way it ends and the way it plays out. I hope that's not the case, but this just doesn't feel right.
I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around. It's like, did Winnick want to get him Cal into space? Was there editorial pressure to get Cal into space? Was there editorial pressure to say, yeah. I mean, this is an important story to tell, but we need to get past this hot controversial story quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, they use Brainwave Jr. and as justification, and then also Kyle says, "Oh yeah, when I was God too, people sucked," which was never actually brought up during the original Ion storyline, right? So, yeah, it just feels like they're looking for justifications for him to be angry and pessimistic, and then get him off the planet.
I mean, again, and I mean, later on, if they would have said, "Oh, hey, Cal did brutalize these guys because Brainwave did put something in his head," that would be something. But yeah, no, I don't think we. Like I said, unless I can't I'm not remembering. I don't think we ever get back to the Brainwave stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that there were a lot of, and I'm speaking if the run is ended because we're getting close. I feel like there were a lot of good ideas during Winnick's run, but I don't know, the execution never quite gelled. And I really don't think there were a couple of issues where the art was, I think, at odds with the story a few times, but I mean, Eaglesham has been on as the primary penciler now for a while, and his art's fabulous. So, I mean, I really feel like it's on, the writer
Oh
to
yeah.
make it work, and I just don't feel like he has made it work. But that's just my opinion.
I know. But yeah, no, I feel the same. Yeah, and Eaglesham's like I like his art.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good looking book. I mean, it's got Jim Lee covers,
Yeah.
Eaglesham on the interiors. The art is nice, but well, is it still a Green Lantern book? I mean, I mean, are we
Well,
getting Green Lantern action? Are we getting Green Lantern constructs? Are we
was
getting
was this the argument behind the scenes too, or are they just like, is this still a Green Lantern book? Maybe we need to get back up in space or something,
who knows? I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm maybe hitting on Winnick too much. I mean, I think there's good stuff here. It's
Yeah, yeah,
just I don't feel like it ever really gelled and came together quite like it should have.
yeah. And again, I don't even know if it's just all Winnick too, but I think
Mm-hmm.
like the brand is hurting at this point too. In
Mm-hmm.
general, I'm not even saying because of Winnick's writing. It's in general the brand's hurting. I mean, why aren't we doing crossovers between Green Lantern and the Spectre?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the Spectre just showed up here. Why?
Yes, he showed up while how was I on how many times? At least twice.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't we doing crossovers? How's a former Green Lantern?
Mm-hmm. I mean, and or even because this book seems like it's kind of off on its own. We brought in the Justice League for Nero.
Yeah,
We won't get back on that. But
yeah. And except for like a quick cameo here, it's like, yeah. I mean, we really haven't done much with.
I think
I'm having trouble hearing. Can you say that again?
No.
I think the tone of the book has shifted. I think it shifted when it came on a little bit.
Oh yeah,
And I think we're getting a little bit of that tonal mismatch of the story that he's trying to tell with the overall tone of Green Lantern. And maybe that's what's fighting. I mean, I'm not sure. I'd have to really go back and study it, but it's it just doesn't feel like it's working as well as it should.
I mean, I think we're on Mars brought like a humanity to the character through Kyle Rayner, and I don't know if
Mhm.
like Judd Winnick is just taking it in too far in that direction.
I don't know. I mean, it's yeah, it's just not completely working.
Yeah.
And I wish it was, because I was so hyped about this, man. It's like I'm gonna finally get to read this. I've got a lot of the issues, and I just never sat down and read them, and I was gonna get to read it, and it's not what I hoped.
I know. I hear you.
It's a little disappointing, but brighter days are on the horizon.
Yes, yes. I keep thinking I need to find a way to put like I need a countdown clock to like put on this screen every episode to be like, okay, we're
T minus this many weeks and counting until rebirth. Well, no, and not just
weeks,
rebirth.
days, minutes, seconds.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to reading kind of Mars's coda,
Yeah.
to Kyle on those last 6 issues, because I haven't had a chance to read those either. And to be honest, I'm thinking that, maybe the Ben Robb run is going to be, interesting too.
Yeah. It's been a while since I read those. I mean,
Mhm.
from what I remember, it is different than the Winnick run. So I mean, it's well, again, most of his stuff is in space. So
Yeah. Which will be cool. So that's good. We'll see.
all right, but next week, we're gonna finish up that Spectre run.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, or the Spectre 24 through 27. So we'll see how DeMatteis wraps that up.
Yep, I am very curious to see how that ends.
Yes. Oh, yeah, me too. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to do JLA Spectre Soul War 1 and 2.
Nice.
And then in 3 weeks is when we get to Green Lantern 156 and 157 and Cosmic Odyssey.
Cosmic Odyssey.
Cosmic Odyssey is coming in 3 weeks, kids, along with 156, where we see John with that ring again.
Which is cool because
I mean, we haven't seen John Stewart with a ring since oh my god, before Emerald Twilight.
Probably the last issue of Green Lantern Mosaic, maybe, right? Or the next to last issue of Green Lantern Mosaic. Because
Yeah,
he
maybe.
was
Yeah.
final issue he was elevated to a guardian, so he didn't need a ring, but then
he fell asleep and woke up and
Yeah.
forgot he was a guardian. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how long it's been since John Stewart's had a ring? Matt Kona was still here.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be publishing wise.
What was
It would
that,
have
like
been in 94 would have been
93,
93 or
94,
94. And then this is 2002. So
the end of
8 years.
2002. So yeah.
Nice.
I just wonder how, like, they probably don't have full plans for Rebirth yet, but it's like, okay, now, O is back, the Guardians are black, John Stewart has a ring back, Kilowog is going to come, well, spoilers, fully back in a little bit here, so it's like, things are coming back.
Big things.
All right, so yes. So send your thoughts on all of that, all the upcoming stuff. And of course, if you want to get your Rebirth thoughts in early, it's coming, kid.
That is true.
If you think you can get a word in edgewise past Will in that episode, send your thoughts. So yes, email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And I've been announcing this, haven't announced it here yet, but yes, if you want to do your one-stop shopping for everything, our YouTube channel, the social medias, the merchandise, any of it, you can go to our new website, tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. Could I have made that any longer? No. tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. So all our videos are up there.
Cool.
I even have under the about section every show and who's on what's show. So for those of you who need a roadmap, there you go. So yes, fine. So yes, go to the website, and again, if you can't remember that long address, it'll be in all the show notes. So just look right under us. So yes, and again,
there's stuff down there.
Whoa! I need the visual for that one, kids. All right, so that way I don't have to take 20 minutes doing all the plugs. All right. Master Will already. Master of the Core, Master of the Quantum Zone, Master of the Kickstarter, Master of Podcasting, and everything. Where can people get a hold of you?
You can find me at Wallred. That's at WALLRED. At Gmail and Twitter and Facebook, and probably I need to start putting stuff on Instagram, I think, and probably other stuff that's out there too. If you're interested in the comics that I write and create, you can check them out. Current one is Crossover Division at crossoverdivision.com. Sweet, thank you. Number 4 is at the printers and should be almost done. So
Yay.
I'm really excited about that. I'll get to start sending them out real soon. And I've also another book I write called Diary of Night. You can check that out at diaryofnight.com. And Phil is not the only podcaster that I annoy on a weekly basis. Writer Kevin Joseph and I have a podcast called Explain Yourself, where we bring on Kickstarter creators to talk about their live crowdfunding projects and try to get as many eyeballs on them as we can. It's a lot of fun, and it's late Friday night, and the creators come on and have to explain themselves, hence the name. And finally, you have obviously got great taste because you're here. Listen to us talk about Green Lantern, which means you probably also love Quasar. And if you want to find out more about Quasar, you can always do that at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
Hey, boys, you look at the party. I love the party.
Yes, if you want to know where all these drops come from, yes, listen to the Quantum Zone. Again, there's a playlist on the YouTube channel, so you get to listen right in order. Of course.
They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices.
That made it in a Marvel comic. I'm just, every time I hear that, I'm shocked that made it into a Marvel comic.
It's a scientific term.
Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. Remember, next week, Spectre 24 through 27. Then in 2 weeks, JLA Spectre Soul War.
And then Green Lantern.
Yes. 3 weeks, Green Lantern 156, 157, and Cosmic Odyssey.
Poor Xanshi.
Poor mischaracterization of John Stewart.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that Starlin wanted that to be Guy, but I think he was in
that makes more sense.
League at that point.
Yeah. All right, kids, come back. And remember, nothing good happens after reunion. Good night.